Little did I know, this was the start of something incredible. What began as a clapped-out, rust-covered Evo, the kind of car that most people would write off, became one of the wildest journeys of my life. Countless late nights, busted knuckles, and a vision that refused to die. Every bolt, every weld, every piece of metal had a story. From a junkyard-bound disaster to a machine built to turn heads and break hearts. This is the complete transformation and the rebirth of my Mitsubishi Evo 8. The car that went from forgotten to unbelievable all the way to the 2023 Sema show, where it took the award for Best Import Interior Home. This isn't just a build, this is the journey that changed everything. As I took more parts off of this car, little did I know that this was going to be a complete rebuild. In the beginning, honestly, I just wanted to refresh this car and make it look nice again. But the more I took apart, the more I realized this car was way worse than I ever had imagined. As I prepared myself to do the repairs to the front of this car, I realized there was bits of rust in several different areas. So then I decided that I was probably going to be better off taking the engine out so that I could clean up the entire engine bay and paint the whole thing. With the engine out, now I could start my repair on the front of this car. I started by cutting away all of the bad parts and assessing the damage on the apron panel. After measuring the apron area to make sure that it wasn't in or back, I realized that all I had to do was straighten out this front panel. Now, when I say I realized that, I realized there was no parts available for this car. Also, I wanted to save money, so I was able to straighten everything out by just taking my time and making it work. As I got further and further into this car, I found a few more spots of rust that weren't really that bad, but I was starting to see how everything was going to shape up really nicely. The only issue I had was I still wasn't able to find parts for that upper rail. Now I found them, but I found them in the most unlikely place, and that was the junkyard off of a regular Lancer. One of the things that I didn't know is that the Lancer, even though it's different in a ton of other structural areas like the frame rails, the apron area to the upper rail is exactly the same. Having this part made all the difference in saving this car. Now I carefully mark out my spot welds and grind them off not to go through the other side so that I can reuse this piece on my car. Here I'm careful to make sure that I get all of the rust away from where I'm going to be welding this panel into place. Not only that, I discover some more rust here in the wheel arch, so I needed to repair that. But before I do that, I'm going to coat this piece here and weld through primer and replace my upper rail. With the panel clamped into place, now I prep all of the weld areas and weld this thing up. I'm really starting to get excited because I thought, man, I don't have much more to go. Little did I know how much more this car had in store for me. Maybe this was a little foreshadowing of what I was going to see on this car, but as I removed this panel, I realized there was even more rust in this area. So I basically removed the entire piece and then made my own from the other piece that I got in the junkyard. Now it didn't fit exactly, so I had to shape this to the panel to make it work. I noticed a small piece of rust here starting on the apron area. Now what this is from is a break in the seam sealer where water was able to build up underneath. So I drilled out this piece, cleaned it up, treated it with some OSPO, and then welded my new panel in place. With everything welded up, prepped, and treated, it was time to get this thing into epoxy primer. Now that I had everything in epoxy, I let it sit for a couple days, came back with my brand new core support from Mitsubishi, and welded it into place. This was awesome because I didn't know that you could still get brand new parts from Mitsubishi for this car. With all my panels prepped, I go ahead and spray some weld-through primer again on every single panel so that we don't have any more issues with rust popping back up. The Supra has a ton of dust on it, and I don't want to grab a quick detailer and a rag and wipe it off because that's going to just put a ton of scratches in my fresh paint. I also have tools around the shop like my computer, my CNC, and my 3D printer that if I was to just leave them dirty, the debris in there would get inside of the mechanisms, possibly causing issues. Now I want to clean those out, and I think I have the perfect tool for that. The Wolfbox MegaFlow 200 air duster is compact, it's tough, and it's ready to go to work. Everything's built with a purpose, precision nozzles, adapters, and tools for every surface and every situation. And when your battery runs low, no waiting, just swap it out, click in a new pack, and keep moving. It's powerful enough to blast the dust out of your PC or your keyboard, and gentle enough for your tech, yet stronger than canned air. With easy to read charge lights and 3 adjustable air modes, you're always in control of how much power you're pushing. From cleaning the dust off the Supra to clearing out the CNC and even blowing grime out of my bolt spin, it doesn't quit until the job is done. The first time I was introduced to Wolfbox was actually at my barber shop, where they used this to blow the hair off after they were cutting my hair. It felt nice to not be blasted with 200 PSI of shop air. Right now, the 15th through the 31st, Wolfbox is running their 6th anniversary sale. Go to their website, check it out right now, use the link in the description, get yourself some really cool gear that is absolutely helpful, whether you're at the shop, at the office, in your car, at home. Check it out now. Thanks to today's sponsor, Wolfbox, for sponsoring today's video. Now let's get back to the build. Now, as I went to the bottom side of the car, I found a lot of things that were very suspicious, whether it was a bad repair or areas of rust that I was kind of concerned about. This was where this car became the biggest task and biggest build that I've ever done. I had always planned on upgrading the suspension with new bushings, new ball joints, and all of that stuff. But as I got further and further in, I realized everything needed to be overhauled. This is where we went to go get the underside cleaned up to reveal everything that was going on the underside of my Evo. This is called dry ice blasting, and it's a really cool process of using dry ice to clean off years of grime on the underside of this Evo. Now, Evos did come with a film layer already applied at the factory, and this stuff is really nasty, and we cleaned it up and it started to show there was more going on my Evo than I thought. With the underside of the car looking amazing, it was now time to start tackling the quarter panels. Previously, I could see that there had been work done to these, but little did I know that there was a really unsafe and bad repair done to the right side quarter panel. As you can see here, it's literally layered over the old panel and then welded together. They didn't even put welds on the seams where the spot welds are. They used panel bond. That's really bad. And as you can see, they didn't protect anything and rust was starting to take over. Now on this quarter panel here, there had been a rust repair, what it looked like, that was done with patch panels, and it was done really, really badly, as you can see once I remove all of the body filler. Knowing that the bad quarter panel repair was done to the right side, I needed to source myself a new quarter panel. Now I found a used one because the new ones shipped from overseas were almost $5,000, and I didn't want to take the risk of getting one shipped to me and then getting it damaged in shipping. So I did the next best thing and got a very good used one. And this one only cost me $500, and it came with the entire chunk, even parts that I didn't know that I needed. This is a really cool tool that I've used before, and it's to remove the glass, and it uses a high tensile strength string and a drill, and it basically cuts along the edge of the urethane, making the glass easily removable. With the taillights and the bumper removed, it was now time to take off this quarter panel and figure out what was going on behind it, because there was still some more things that I could see that weren't quite right. And wait till you see what we found when we removed this quarter panel. Not only do we have one bad repair of the replacement quarter panel, we also have a bad patch panel, and that led to all of this rust right here on the wheel arch. Now, thankfully, I did get that used piece because I would have had to try to make this out of another piece of metal, which would have taken way more time. So I was able to use part of the used clip and replace these pieces that we needed to fix from the rust damage. Now again, with careful precision, I remove these panels so that I don't have any issues where I'm trying to weld this back on because the metal is too thin. I don't want to grind through to the backside. I want to keep it as intact as possible. This part of the process is important because you want to move around and not heat this panel up too much. That could cause it to move in, move out, whatever direction it goes. It's not good if the quarter panel doesn't line up because then I'm going to have issues with my gaps all the way around. Here I cut off the flange on the quarter panel so that I'm able to roll it over and have a wider tire and tuck it tighter to the car. When I lower it down, I don't want any contact coming in between the tire and the quarter panel. You've seen the Evo, you've seen how awesome it is, and if you guys want to get a chance to take a ride in that car, as well as the Supra and possibly the Noble if it gets finished, go check out Bling Sauce right now, enter in the contest, go get my kit. That gets you entries to come here, hang out for the day, do some cool stuff, see behind the scenes builds that we got going on right now because there's some really cool stuff coming up on the channel. I just wanted to give you guys that heads up. Go check the link in the description, get yourself a Bling Sauce kit. This one in particular is the one that I chose, but if you guys want to get something special, build your own box. All of it goes towards getting an entry into getting into the shop and seeing all the cool behind the scenes stuff and taking these cars for a rip. I can't wait to meet one of you guys and go for a fun drive. Let's get back to the Evo build. That car is epic. This car is going to be even more epic. Just wait. Now I get the quarter panel prepped and ready for epoxy, and then I'm going to spray the undercolor back on it so that it looks like nothing was ever done to this quarter. Now I make my final cuts, prep the panels, and then get everything on and in place. This is starting to shape up and I'm getting really excited because now the car is starting to look like a car again and we have quality repairs going back into place. One of the keys to making an undetectable repair is to prep the backside of your panel and use the undercolor that is on there originally. This will give it a nice color. When you look on the inside of the car, you won't see a black color like we did before. You'll see the green that comes from factory. Here's a simple little custom trick that I've used in the past on other cars. Instead of using the plastic grommets that are provided from Mitsubishi, I use riv nuts so that when the bumper goes back into place, it holds nice and tight. Here I tape off all of my weld-through primer and coat the backside with the undercolor green. With all the tedious work done, it's time for final prep and then get this thing welded into place. Now I apply the panel bond to the wheel arch area as well as reattach the foam air dam. Like I had mentioned earlier, this is where I roll over the quarter panel so that I'm able to lower the car down more and have a wide wheel still. With all the necessary plug welds and seam welds done, I drive the car over on a trailer to my buddy's shop where he lets me use this car liner spot welder. This thing is absolutely amazing and gives you a factory look when done, as well as factory strength with the spot welds. Yet again, another Lancer is used in Sacrifice to save the Evo. Now on this quarter panel, there are some differences, but what I was able to do here is use this piece because the body line on the bottom of the arch is exactly the same as the Evo. With the sacrificial panels separated, now I go to work marking out my lines where I'm going to cut this piece off and find out what's going on behind this panel. With a little bit of creativity and a bending, I was able to get the arch from the Lancer to line up to the arch on the Evo. This actually worked out really good because I wasn't sure exactly how bad it was going to be behind there, and I knew I was going to have to replace some metal. So thankfully, we got everything we needed on our junkyard trip. And we did this for a whopping $12. Just like the other side, we put everything back is exactly the way it was before. This time we use panel bond as well as weld through primer, and we coat the underside with the green paint so that it looks identical to factory. When welding together sheet metal, you want to make sure that you skip around a lot so that you don't warp the metal too much. As you can see, in between welds, I pick up an air blower and blow into the weld to keep this panel from overheating. Just like I did on the replacement quarter panel, I worked the weld seam so that I don't put as much body filler in this area. As long as I can keep this from warping and stretching too much, I can make this a very nice repair with minimal body filler.
I just wanna make you mine, 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 mine. I just wanna make you mine, 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 mine.
This car had multiple paint jobs, so the only way to get rid of this and make sure that I get a great foundation is to strip it down to bare metal and put epoxy on the entire shell.
I just wanna make you mine, 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 mine.
After doing all the repairs to the front and the quarter panels, I was really happy with the way this car was coming along. And this is where I got my biggest heartache. The rails were rusted, and they weren't completely rotted out, but they were rotted enough to make me not want the car. So what did I do? I went out and found brand new frame rails from another country. I believe I got these from Ireland. And yeah, I started the process of replacing the entire rear rail section on my Evo.
I just wanna make you
And finally, after about 1,000 spot welds drilled, the rails were out. And as you can see, these things were starting to eat themselves alive from the inside out. Now this is where things got a little tricky. The old brackets on the cross member for the rear rails were good. They were just a little bit rusty, so I sandblasted them and removed the brackets that came on the new cross member because I had in fact ordered the wrong ones. These were for like an Evo 5, and obviously I have an Evo 8, so this needed to be changed. The cross member was the same and the brackets were reusable. To make sure that I never had issues with rust again while I owned this vehicle, I coated the inside of the new frame rails with epoxy primer. The rear of the car at the bottom of the quarter panels on both sides had some issues where rust had definitely started to form. Thankfully, it wasn't that bad, and I was able to get some new metal and replace these pieces. After all of this work, all of the cleaning, all the preparation, it was now time to weld the new frame rails into place. With the rails completely welded up and everything going into place, I started fixing all of the little random spots that had rust. There was one here on the floor right in the back and one right under the passenger seat in the rear. With all of my welding done, it was now time to prep the entire underside of the car. There was a lot of little bits of spotted rust here and there from rock chips where the shell had started to have issues over the years. Remember now, this car came from up north where they use salt on the roads, and I believe that is probably the majority of the reason why this car had so many issues underneath it. I could have left the factory coating on and then just coated right over top of that, but I wanted this thing to be absolutely brand new as it could be and better than factory. So what I did was I stripped the entire bottom of the car and epoxy primed it. After letting the epoxy primer cure for a few days, I went back with an epoxy 2-part seam sealer to completely seal up the underside from getting any kind of moisture or debris in the areas where I had just repaired. I still had a few days to let this epoxy settle and cure fully, so I decided to strip down the engine and find out everything that was going wrong with my engine. Here I start laughing because there's an EASTWOOD twin disc sitting right between there, and I had just ordered a brand new EASTWOOD twin disc, when all I had to do was replace the plates. My friend Derek and I stripped down the engine to find out what is going on the inside. Like everything on this car, nothing is easy because we had a few bolts that were seized from rust. Derek and I were confident that all we needed to do was a refresh on this block, so I taped it off and painted this thing with some high temperature paint. With the parts orders put in for the engine, it was time to get started on the bodywork. Now, there was a ton of stuff to do on the shell of this car. As you can see here, with the guide coat revealing all of these dents and dings, there was a lot of bodywork needed to make this thing straight. I used tape to mark off my arch lines so that I'm able to get that nice crisp line that leads into the bumper. Even though we had a new used quarter panel on this, it had a bunch of bodywork on it previously, and you can see here again, there's more bodywork revealed in the areas with the guide coat. Now I smooth out our previous weld repairs and get these looking nice and smooth. And as I take out the glass, I realize there is a ton of rust in the window channel from a previous repair. Somebody had scraped the paint, water built up, and it started to rust in there. Go figure, a rusty spot on my Evo. Anyway, it was time to knock this out and get this car in primer. With the shell bodyworked and in primer, it was time to move on to the doors, the deck lid, and the fenders. Now I decided to move on to my front bumper. I had the Evo 8 front bumper on this car and I decided to keep it. Except there was a lot of missing tabs, missing plastic, and damage to this front bumper. Needed quite a bit of repair, but I felt confident that I was going to be able to save this bumper. Now I started the plastic welding process and repair of the bumper. There's a lot of cracks and missing pieces. Here I fix a crack, here I fix the corner of the bumper, and then after this, after getting it shaped to exactly where it's going to fit on the fender, I replaced the tabs that were missing from the accident. With the last few parts going into primer, it was time to start getting everything else prepped and ready for the paint shop. Now, just like before, I use a lot of guide coat, I mark off my lines, and I block everything out evenly so that it comes together and looks beautiful once we lay down our color. You ever get that feeling like you've come so far on a journey and you can't believe that you're there? Well, that's exactly how I felt when I made it to the paint shop finally. This is my friend Lewis. He's a really good painter, and we've worked together for years doing some really cool cars. I got him set up and ready to go in this car by prepping everything and giving it one more final wipe down before he lays down this beautiful paint. The first thing up is sealer and then base coat. And as the clear coat goes down on top of the base coat, you can see this beautiful Marina Bay Blue by BMW sparkling in the light. I absolutely love the way this color looks. With the body painted, it was time to seam seal all of the underside and get this thing completely coated. Now, I wanted to protect this as well as make it look good. So to do that, I used TerraSun products. This is a 1K sprayable seam sealer. We used the seam sealer to spray out a ribbon seal across some of the seams in the front, just like factory. And then we did something that they didn't do from the factory, which was coat the entire wheel well as well as the bottom of the car with sprayable seam sealer. This gives it a very nice texture as well as protects it against making lots of noise with road debris and other things like that. Also, it looks really good. Take a look at the brand new underside of my Evo. Now you can see here, Derek and I start the refresh by taking down all of the old gasket material that left imprints on the top of the block. I'm just going over this with 320 and a straight edge block. With the cylinder walls taken care of, now Derek checks all the clearances on our bearings. After using our old pistons and installing our new piston rings, we realized that there was something wrong with one of our pistons. And thanks to Real Street, we were able to get pistons, rods, and bearings taken care of in like 2 days, which saved the opportunity for us to make it to the Sema show. As the engine came together, you can see here that all of the titanium hardware and titanium heat shields really made this engine look absolutely amazing. And I was super thankful to JD Customs because they were the first people to trust the Jack Builds It channel and help us get to the SEMA show. With the engine assembled, it was time to move on to the fuel system. And as you can see, this old fuel tank was quite crusty. The only thing I was needing was the parts that were on it, and everything else was going to be replaced. We have a brand new fuel tank thanks to finding one overseas again, because they still sell some of these parts brand new in other countries. With the wiring buttoned up on the inside of the engine bay, it was time to get that transmission and transfer case put in place and then get this thing into the car. With the time approaching for Matt to get here with the brand new interior for the car, I still needed to get all of the suspension into place. So I got started right away pressing in all my new ball joints and putting in all the new bushings. When Matt got here with the interior, I was honestly blown away by how stunning this looked. It was a mixture of Lamborghini Nero leather, Audi Alcantara on the inside of the seat, and it looked so good. It actually looked like a modern version of the Evo 8 seats. Coming down to the last few days after everyone left, I stayed late each night just to get this thing done. The last night that I was there, I actually stayed till 6:30 in the morning getting this thing ready. I fell asleep for about 3 hours, got up at 9:30 and put this thing on the truck, as you'll see here in a minute. It was down to the wire, and it was the absolute last second that we got this onto the truck. And now the car wasn't running and it wasn't fully finished yet, but it looked amazing at the show. And I was super thankful that Koenig Wheels gave me some one-off wheels that actually never got made. And I'm super stoked that the fact that I made it to the dream of getting a car of my own into the SEMA show. This is absolutely epic, and I can't thank all of the people who helped me enough. With the fun of Sema over, it's time to get back to work. So the first thing I did was I cleaned up this wiring harness and got it ready to go to the dyno. I needed to boost leak check this, as well as put a bunch of other parts on the car, and then double and triple check everything that we put together, because we did this in literally like 4 days. After finishing up the wiring, it was time to bleed the brakes as well as the clutch. Now I wire up the new gauges so I'm able to monitor everything while we're at the dyno. Six months of hard work was now coming to a head, and we were about to hear this thing roar to life for the very first time.
Second gear, we're gonna let her rip. All right, boost. God damn. Okay, so right about 3 grand is when the turbo kicks in.
Oh my God, dude, the pull on that! Hey, can you grab my guts back there, please?
We're at about 3 grand right now, full throttle.
That is freaking awesome.
It gives you the giggles,
oh
bro.
My God, it does.
Two-step in. That's pretty good.
What an absolutely epic journey. This car went from one of the worst Evos to a show-winning car that I can be proud of, and I'm super thankful to everybody who helped me along the way. It was a crazy experience, and I can't wait to do some more stuff to this car. Yeah, that's right, I have more plans to make this car even better.